Hi, I'm Emily and welcome to Refresh and Restore Yoga. Today's class will be 60 minutes and we'll be working on balance. So go ahead and grab 2 blocks, a strap, a bolster, and a blanket. If you don't have those, then grab whatever you have around that might substitute for those. There'll be information at the end and also in the video notes about how to donate if you would like and are able. So all the donations will go to 2 organizations in San Francisco, Rise Yoga for Youth and the Center for Families at UCSF Benioff Children's Hospital. So go ahead and get started. When you're ready, grab your 2 blocks and we'll start in a kind of restorative forward fold position. So you can place the blocks at any height that's going to be comfortable for you. Maybe start with the highest one and then you can play around. Coming to standing, choosing your choice of distance between the feet. Feet can be closer together or wider apart. And maybe step maybe a foot back behind your blocks. And then just slowly rolling down. Your hands can come onto the blocks for support. They could come onto the ground at any point. Placing your forehead, maybe the upper part of the forehead on the blocks. Maybe checking in with the distance of your feet from the blocks, the distance between your feet, and maybe making a different choice than you originally had. You can also play with moving the blocks and changing the height. You can always have the hands on the blocks, or if you'd like, you can let the hands rest on the ground. Starting to notice and observe your breathing here. Not making any conscious changes to it, not making any judgments. Starting to feel how your body feels in this moment, in this forward fold position. And at any time, if you notice something needs to shift, then you observe that and then you maybe act on it. My neck is feeling a little crunched, so I'll lower the block just a little bit further. As you're resting here, maybe set an intention for how you'd like your body to feel after the practice today, or maybe how you'd like your mind to feel, or how you'd like your whole day to feel afterwards. At any time, you could clasp opposite hands to opposite elbows, taking more of a ragdoll position to release through the shoulders even more. Maybe starting to deepen the breath, inhaling for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch the elbow grip if you have it. Inhaling, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continuing with that pace of breath or another one that feels better for you. Take a couple of breaths here on your own. I didn't say it, but of course your knees can be bent any amount in this pose. You can always even wiggle a little bit from side to side. When you're ready, bringing the forehead off the blocks. Wiggle the feet out so they're probably close to max distance apart from each other, and you can point the toes out and away from you a little bit. Grab one of the blocks and place it a little bit behind your heels. And then you're going to come into a Malasana squat with the support of the block underneath you as we just start to wake up here. So bringing your hands, palms together towards heart center. Your elbows can touch kind of the inside of your thighs maybe. Pushing firmly into the feet, the butt firmly into the block as well to help lift your spine up and away from the ground. Lifting from the tops of the ears through the back of the neck. You can use a very light pressure on the inside of the legs to maybe expand the knees out a little bit. And you can close your eyes here or soften the gaze if that feels better. Pressing firmly through the pinky side of the foot, from the pinky all the way to the heel into the ground. Pushing into the ground to lift and lengthen on each inhale. And exhale, maybe soften a little bit. Your next exhale, you can release the hands down onto the ground. Remove maybe a layer of clothing. And then using your hands for support, wiggling the feet back in towards each other, coming off of the blocks. You can move the blocks maybe to the front of the mat. And then just slowly pushing into the feet, rolling up to a standing position, resetting your feet to your choice for a mountain pose, pushing into the feet, lengthening the spine. Inhaling, arms up and overhead, lifting on to the balls of the feet, the heels coming off of the ground. First balancing posture of the day. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, setting the heels down, coming into a chair pose. Inhaling, lengthening, sitting back. Exhale, maybe sitting a little bit lower. Inhaling, lengthening up and through the arms, up and away. And exhale, hands down to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Your hands can always come onto the blocks or up your legs and your shins or your thighs. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, either roll or flat back, arms all the way up to the sky. And exhale, hands through heart center. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Coming on to the balls of the feet, finding a point to focus on. Inhaling, lengthening, lifting up and out of your belly. And exhale, heels down, chair pose. Just for a breath, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sit lower. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Pushing the crown of the head towards the front of the room. And exhale, lower. Inhale, arms all the way up to the sky. Getting nice and long. Exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, arms up and overhead, coming onto the balls of the feet. Inhale, can you get a little bit longer? Exhale, plant the heels, sit back. Maybe lift the chest, look up in between your hands just a little bit. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms all the way back up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center and pausing at your heart center just to see how the body feels after a couple of rounds of sun salutations. You can stay facing the direction that you're in right now. I'll face towards you so that you can see maybe a little bit better what we're about to do. So finding your mountain pose really firmly into both feet, lifting up and away. You can bend the knees a little bit to bring some engagement to the legs, and then straightening the legs. Bringing weight into your right foot, starting to lift the left foot slowly off the ground, and then lifting carefully the left knee up and towards your center, finding a place to balance on, a little point to focus. Hands on your hips. Check to see if your left hip is a little bit higher than the right. So I'll exaggerate it here, bringing the left hip down in line. So from left to right, there's kind of a straight line. You can stay here. You could interlace your hands underneath your thigh, letting kind of the weight relax in to your hands. You could also place your hands on the front of the knee and using the hands to help draw the knee in a little bit further, all the while making sure the left hip is down. You're pushing into the right foot to bring length all the way up to the crown of the head. And if you ever do fall out, just smile and laugh at yourself like I did. It's all good. Keeping your left hand on your left knee, your right hand can come to your right hip, starting to open the knee up, out to the side. So opening the left knee out to the left. Only going as far as you can go without lifting the left hip up with the knee and without sacrificing the length in your spine. So keeping the whole right side of the body long, up through the spine of their head, and the left knee out to the side, left hip down. Bringing your knee back into center, check in, and then you can take your right hand to the outside of your left knee, lifting up, lengthening, and exhaling, turning the torso towards your knee, so turning over to the left side. You could take your left arm out and away from you, palm in the direction that the face is facing. You can always keep it here on your hip, or you could even try a little half bind. Just pick a position that feels good for you. Your right leg might be burning right now. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. And then slowly bringing the hands back onto the front of the knee, slowly lowering the leg back down to the ground. You could certainly shake out your right leg. You're doing all that work, however you want to, but finding your mountain pose, again, with both feet down on the ground. Pushing firmly, especially through the left foot, starting to slowly lift the right toes off the ground, bringing the knee up Checking your right hip is down in line with your left. And then choose your position of your hands. It can be the same or different than you took on the other side. Pushing into your left leg really firmly. Maybe hugging the knee in a little bit closer into the body. And then right hand can stay on your right knee, left hand to left hip, starting to open the right knee out to the right. Only going again as far as you can, keeping the spine nice and long and the right hip down. Thinking about expanding across the front of your chest as well in this pose, so your elbows can pull very firmly out to the sides. Notice if there's a difference between the sides. And exhale, bringing the knee back into center, taking your left hand to the outside of your right knee. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, turn the chest towards the right, towards that knee. And then inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Choose your arm position, maybe trying with the arm out long behind you, stretching through. Get some expansiveness across your chest. Maybe getting a little bit more of a shoulder stretch with a half bind. Hand on the hip is great too. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist maybe a little bit deeper. Just be okay if there's some wobble and shake. And then yes, exhale, you can come back to center. Slowly lower the leg down to the ground. Give your foot a little shake. We'll come into a deeper tree pose, but I want you to try first doing it without using the hands. So firmly planting your right foot into the ground. Lengthen up. You can come onto your toes with your heel just above your ankle. And you can see how far you can lift the foot up the leg. If you're keeping a lot of engagement in your legs and really pushing your right leg into your left foot, and so there's a really good, strong connection, I'm okay with your foot being kind of on your knee. Just be really careful. Don't let your foot push your knee out to the side, but if you're being strong and engaged, do what feels okay. So here again, check your hips. Your left hip may have snuck up, so bring it down. And then once you have that level point, so try not to fall over, you can bring the left knee maybe out and to the side a little bit. The tendency will definitely be for you to use your hips to wiggle and let the knee come out, but see how straight and level you can keep the hips without using your hands as well, just using the strength of the legs. All right, bring the knee back into center, put it down to the ground slowly. Whew. Legs are waking up, that's for sure. Wiggle them out. One last side balancing for now. Pushing firmly your left foot down into the ground. Starting to come onto your tiptoes of your right foot to the ankle. And then drawing it up. Finding a place feels good for you for the foot. Lengthen up through the left side of the body. Check the hips. Bring the right hip likely needs to come down in space. And then slowly open the right knee out into the side. Balancing is especially one of those things that I find you can have a lot of variation day to day. Some days it's just not going to be there. This might be one of those days for me. And other days you'll feel very strong and firm. Working on it today. Hopefully by the end of class you'll notice the difference. And then bringing the knee back into the center. Bring it down to the ground. You can come back towards the top of your mat. Coming into a strong mountain pose. Pushing the feet into the ground. Lifting chest up to the sky. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, planting your hands, point your fingers pointing straight forward. Stepping back into the plank position just for a moment to get the right distance between your hands and the feet so that you can have length. And then pushing back into downward facing dog. Feet should be about 2 fists distance apart from each other. Maybe pick up the toes, spread them, and then put them back down on the ground. Pushing firmly into the arms, shoulder out and away from the ground. And here you can wiggle around for a minute. You can shake your head, wiggle your feet, bending one knee, and then the other. Your couple of moments. Do what you need to do. Spin onto the sides of the feet, getting a nice side stretch. The other side. Remembering to let the head just drop down to the ground. Whenever you're ready, coming into a still downward facing dog. Pushing firmly out of the hands. Maybe imagine that there's a little bit more weight on the big toe side of the foot and you're actively trying to break the mat apart with your feet. That might fire up the inner legs. Taking one big inhale and exhaling out of the mouth. Another one like that, inhaling through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And then rolling forward, coming into a plank position, lower the knees down on the ground. You can keep your toes tucked. Do a little bit of protracting and retracting the shoulders. So from here, inhaling, dropping just the chest, not into your full cow pose, but keeping the hips where they are. Dropping your chest down so your shoulder blades are squeezing onto your back. And then exhale, push the ground away, rounding into the upper back. You can drop the head a little bit here. So inhaling, dropping, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Exhale, push the ground away. Inhale, drop and squeeze. Exhale, push away. If you'd like, you could try this from a plank position. Inhale, dropping, only do this if you can keep everything below, kind of I'll say your belly button, nice and straight and strong. Inhale, drop. Squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Arms straight the whole time. Exhale, push the ground away. Bringing your knees back down if they aren't already. Making sure your shoulders are over your wrist, hips over your knees. And then deceptively difficult pose. Push firmly through your hands, arms straight. Finding a spot in between those two positions. Be nice and strong. And then lift the knees off the ground just an inch to hover. See if you can lengthen the neck out and away like you're head butting the wall in front of you or the door. Your next exhale, you can lower the knees down to the ground. Sit back for a moment. You could flip one hand, so the back of the hand is on the ground, fingertips are pointing towards you, slight bend in your elbows, drawing the hand out and away from you, sitting back to intensify the stretch just a little bit through the forearm. Coming forward carefully, put that hand back into the neutral position. Flip the other hand, back of the hand on the ground, fingertips pointing towards your knees. Slight bend to the elbow, draw the hand away from you towards the front of the room, and then if you want, slowly sit back just a little bit as well. And coming forward, releasing that hand, spinning the first hand so the fingertips go out and away from you and then come to face your knees, but the palm of the hand is on the ground. Slight bend of the elbow, you might need to come forward to get the bend, and then draw the hand out and away from you, and then slowly sit back, getting a stretch through the back side, the inside of the forearm. And coming forward, spinning the other hand, fingertips back towards your knees, palm on the ground. Lean forward, bend the elbow, draw the hand away, and sit back. Coming back forward, returning the hand, pushing, checking your placement so you're in a nice tabletop, lifting just the left knee off of the ground an inch. Make sure you don't sit over to the right too far. Lifting the left knee, just hover a little bit and then play with maybe coming onto the fingertips of your right hand and then seeing if you can engage your whole core to maybe lift the right hand to hover as well off of the ground. Exhale, place the hand and the knee back on the ground. Re-engage, headbutt the front of the room, lift the right knee to hover off the ground. Check to make sure you haven't dumped into the left side. And then coming onto the fingertips of the left hand, maybe hovering the hand off the ground. Exhale, lowering down to the ground. And walking the knees into your hands, sweep the feet out to the side, coming onto your butt, coming into a Navasana pose. So to come into it, rock a little bit forward and back so you know that you're on the front or side of your sit bones. So your low back is pretty nice and straight. Hugging the knees into the chest, making a nice little tight ball, starting to lift the toes off of the ground. Might be here, so using the hands on the front of the shins, use the hands to pull your chest through, almost like imagining you're kind of opening a little gate and your shoulders getting nice and broad. Your collarbone is up and expansive towards the ceiling. Knees drawing in toward each other. Maybe from here, you could think about lifting the feet a little bit higher. Maybe if you can keep the structure of the upper body, lifting the arms out into the sides. Holding here for a breath or two. Any of those variations are great ways to build some strength and awareness in your core. So inhaling, lengthening through the spine, collarbones up to the sky, and exhale, maybe lower halfway so that your shoulders and your feet are kind of hovering off the ground. Inhale here, lengthen, and exhale, come back up into boat pose. Exhale, lower. Inhale here. Exhale, come up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come up. Your boat pose. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale, come up. Last time, exhaling down. And exhale. Come up. And you can place the feet back down on the ground. Coming in back onto your hands and your knees. Pushing into a downward facing dog. Just for a moment. Right leg up towards the sky. Right leg comes forward. Putting the left knee down on the ground. Coming into a low lunge. Pushing into your right foot. Knee stacked over ankle. Hands on your thigh. Hands on your hips. You might be more in this position. See if you can tuck the tailbone under, lifting the lower part of your belly off of the right knee. And you might find a really nice deep stretch in the front of the left thigh. The more you push into the right foot, the more you push into the left shin, the more intense you'll be able to feel that stretch. Bringing the arms up and overhead, coming into cactus arms for just a moment. Exhaling, bringing the hands down. Walking the right foot out into the side. Your toes can point out to the right a little bit. Hands on the ground, and then do some hip rolls in one direction. At any point, you can stop and kind of maybe focus on a certain area that feels tighter, a little bit gunky. You can switch the direction, keeping the right foot pretty firmly planted on the ground the entire time. Got a little excited and lifted my toes off the ground there. And then walking the right foot back in to the midline. Pushing firmly through the hands, lift the left knee, lifting the right foot back into your downward facing dog. Lifting the left leg up to the sky, stepping it forward, right knee on the ground. You can keep the toes tucked or untucked, really up to you. Knee over ankle, slowly walk the hands up towards your hips. See if you can tuck the tailbone just a little bit. Maybe the left hip needs to draw down like you were doing in tree pose. Arms up and overhead. And exhale, cactus pose for a couple of breaths. Pushing firmly through your heel, through your right shin. Left hip down, tailbone tucks under. Heart lifts up and towards the ceiling. Maybe the gaze follows. Softening some of the tension in your neck. And exhale, hands down to the ground. Left knee out to the left. Toes point out to the left a little bit too. And then rolling through your hips. Really your left hip, and seeing where there's maybe some constrained movement, keeping the whole left foot firmly on the ground. And then walking the left foot back in, tucking the right toes, planting the hand, lifting the right knee off of the ground, and coming back into a downward facing dog. Just for a breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling. And then walking the feet forward towards your hands, bringing them wide as you get closer to your hands, and coming into a Malasana squat again, now without the sword, the block, although you can always use it. So pushing firmly through the feet to engage the legs and actually lift the seat up a little bit so you're not just dropping into your squat. Your hands can again come into a prayer position, elbows on the inside of the legs to help you broaden across your collarbone, lifting the back of the head, neck up towards the sky. Bringing more of the weight into the pinky side of the foot will also help you lift and open. You can close your eyes here, soften the gaze in front of you for a breath or two. And then bringing the hands down onto the ground in front of you, wiggling the feet in towards each other. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms all the way up to the sky. Hands to heart center. Taking a breath here. And come into tree pose again. Your choice. You can do what we did before without using the hands to build some strength within your legs, or you can use your hands. So pushing firmly into your right foot, lengthening, starting to lift the left foot off of the ground. Maybe seeing first how high you can bring it. Maybe it's a little higher even than before. And then you can always lift the foot up and nestle it into the spot of your choosing. Bring your hands to your hips again for a moment, checking in that the hips are pretty level. Keeping your hands here as you open the left knee out to the left. And once you've found that spot, you can bring your hands to heart center, pushing the right leg firmly into the left foot. Will actually help you lengthen up. If you want, you can bring your branches up to the sky. The trees will probably wiggle in the wind a little bit. If you're finding a lot of difficulty, you could try lengthening your exhales or even exhaling out of your mouth. It can help bring focus to the pose. Welcome to stay here if you'd like to try. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, twist towards your left, so towards your left knee. And maybe you bring the arms as you twist down out into more of a T position, the palms facing the wall in front of you, out and away, or the right side of the room, I guess, depending what direction you're facing. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, expand through the arms if you're twisting. Inhaling, coming back up into center. And then exhaling, hands through heart center, helping the knee come in and off and down to the ground. Wiggle out just a little bit, and then when you're ready, pushing firmly into your left foot, starting to lift the right heel off the ground, walking the right foot up the left leg, maybe helping the foot come a little bit higher, toes pointing straight down as much as you can towards the ground, hands to your hips to level out. As you open up, notice if there's a difference between the sides. You can stay here, pushing the left leg into the right foot, hands to heart center. Making sure your toes aren't clenching into the ground. See if you can release them, soften them. Bring your branches up to the sky. See if your shoulders are creeping up. If there's some tension there, you can release. If you'd like to try it on this side, inhaling, lengthening, and exhaling, twisting towards your right. Maybe bringing the hands and the arms into a T position. Seeing if you can keep the hips facing forward as your torso twists towards the leg. Your next inhale, coming back towards the front. Inhaling, lengthen, and then exhale, help your knee come back down to the front and the center and down. Wiggle out. Coming to stand at the top of your mat. Inhaling, arms up to the sky, lifting onto the balls of the feet. This time, exhaling into a diver's pose. So starting to bring the chest parallel to the ground, the arms wing back behind you, palms facing the ceiling. Maybe bringing chest all the way down, lengthening through the neck, headbutting the front of the room, squeezing the legs in and up. And exhale, plant the feet, the heels, swinging the arms up into a chair position. Play with here, lifting the right heel off of the ground, gauging into the left leg, maybe lifting the whole right foot off of the ground to a one-legged chair. Plant the right foot, strengthen the right leg, lift the left heel. Maybe lift the whole right foot off of the ground. Left foot down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen, staying in your chair. Exhale, deepen your chair if you can. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms all the way back up to the sky. Exhale, hands through heart center. Maybe stepping back so you have a little bit more room. We're going to play with a little bit of a flying pigeon pose. So inhaling, arms up and overhead. Coming onto the balls of the feet, maybe. Exhale, plant the heels. Step back into chair pose. Maybe lifting the right toes up and off the ground. Maybe you just hover the right foot and stay here. Maybe you can bring your right ankle onto your left thigh just above the knee. Maybe sitting back a little bit lower into this figure 4 shape. Maybe you're happy there. Maybe you want to bring the hands down to the ground. Make sure your foot is flexed. Maybe this forward fold is a happy place. Maybe you want to try a flying pigeon, which, depending on the day for me, can look very different. So planting your hands firmly like they're coming into a downward facing dog, bending the elbows into kind of chaturanga arms, hooking the right foot around the left tricep. You can place your right knee on your right tricep, leaning forward, trying to keep the chest nice and expansive, starting to play with maybe lifting the left foot off the ground, maybe lifting the left leg out and behind you. Really using the hook of the right foot to stabilize you. You can set the left foot down on the ground behind you, push into your arms. If you're back here, releasing the right leg, coming into a downward facing dog. Exhale out of your mouth. You can always join us. If you didn't try that, you can join us in a downward facing dog. Coming back. Whenever you're ready, walking forward. Just try the other side. Inhaling, halfway left. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, heart center. Pause here in mountain pose. Inhale, arms to the sky, lifting, heels off the ground. Exhale into chair pose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sink a little bit lower. Bringing weight into your right foot. Maybe lifting the left toes off the ground, the whole left foot. Maybe try planting the left ankle on your right thigh, just above the knee, and sitting back. This can be a happy spot. Maybe you try the forward fold. Maybe you might need to hop back just a little bit. The flying pigeon pose. So setting up your hands really firmly, fingers spread wide, pointer fingers point out and away. Hooking the left foot on the outside of the right arm. Left knee to left tricep. Snuggling up. Lifting the seat up and away from you, bending your elbows, starting to just rock a little bit forwards, finding that balance point here. Maybe lifting the right leg up, maybe the right leg out and long behind you. And then down to the ground. Everyone can step back wherever you are into a downward facing dog. Nice and careful. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale with the mouth. And coming forward into a plank. Bringing the knees down to the ground. Walking the knees in. And we're going to come to a seat. Or restorative figure 4. You can take your 2 blocks, stack them on top of each other on their lowest height. You might find that's not quite the right height for you, and you can adjust those after you come down. Grab a strap as well, rolling onto one side, rolling onto your back. Bring your left foot to the top of the block pile, and then your right knee into your chest, right ankle on the left thigh. And this might be a happy spot for you. You can adjust the distance between your
butt in the blocks, or the placement of the foot on the blocks. You can use your right hand to push the right thigh up and out and away, flexing the right foot, not jamming into your leg with your hand, but just providing a little bit of support to open. If you want to turn this into even more restorative shape, you can take your strap, you can make a loop around your strap, and then play with, you might need to lift your foot off of the blocks, bringing the strap out in front of the left shin, under, kind of over the foot, and then you might need to make it a little bit longer, and then bringing the strap over and outside of the right leg as well. So you're just making a nice little cozy hammock for your legs. So it's on the outside of your left shin, left thigh, and then the right thigh as well. You can tighten the strap, making sure the buckle is not on your skin, to a point that feels good for you. So that just gives you a little bit more support, and then you could maybe just rest here without the arms on the legs. Maybe your hands on your belly or out to the sides or up and overhead. Letting gravity just give you some relaxation here. Pull you down to the ground. Melt in. There's no longer any work of pushing out and away from the ground and trying to lift the legs off in all of these balancing shapes. Now you just get to stop fighting gravity and let it do its work. When you're ready, switching over to the other side. You can stay on this side a little longer if you want, but releasing the strap if you have it around the legs. Bring it off. Open your right leg into the chest and the right foot onto the blocks. You need to move them over a little bit with your feet. Bringing the left knee into the chest, left ankle on the left thigh. Flexing the foot, checking in here, see how that feels. Maybe wrapping the strap around to the left thigh, over the left foot, to the front of the left shin, around the right shin, around the right thigh. And then tightening the strap if that feels okay. And then again, choosing your placement of the hands. And when you're done here on the side, taking the breath a little and slowly loosening the strap. Coming to our final shape for the day. Bringing the left ankle off of the right thigh, knee into the chest, and you can roll over to either side. And push into the hands. Just come up to sit. Then your choice, you can come into a traditional Shavasana, or if you'd like, you could try Stonehenge Shavasana, especially if you grabbed a bolster. 2 blocks on their highest height, the bolster goes on top, so Stonehenge shape. You can also do this on a chair or the back of your couch. So coming down onto one side, butts pretty close to the props, rolling onto your back, bringing your calves, backs of your calves onto the bolster or the chair or the couch. Seeing if your distance from the blocks is good for you. Rolling the legs out a little bit, relaxing. Arms can come out to the sides. Taking a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale, side out. Take yourself through your own Shavasana. I won't be timing this, so whenever you are ready to come out of your Shavasana, then's the time. Thank you so much for joining to Balance today. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Namaste.